liquid and burning my tongue. Hey, what's up, everybody? So, full disclosure, if you couldn't tell by the way I sound, I am not, in fact, the lead singer of Green Day, Billy Joe Tolliver. No, that was a NFL quarterback. I don't know what Billy Joe's last name is. I am not the lead singer of Green Day. I'm not normally this nasally, but I am hopefully on the tail end of a sinus infection. And so I'm fully prepared with lots of tissues, another pocket full of tissues, my throat coat tea for my sore throat. And I'm going to just forewarn everybody, I will mute myself periodically and either blow my nose or cough. But I'm here, guys. I'm actually here despite all of that because I'm so excited about today. Like, this is one of those, I told Robbie earlier, I was this close a couple of hours ago to either canceling today or asking Robbie just to take over completely. But I really just decided I didn't want to miss this. There's two reasons. One, the topic that we're talking about today is super exciting. We're talking about challenges. And secondly, the guest that we have coming on about 26 minutes or so is a good friend of mine, and I'm super excited to bring him on. And I'll tell you more about him as we go. Excuse me. So first of all, Robbie, welcome, my friend.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
talking about one of the things we like to do.
I know, and I'm excited because my voice is deepened 3 octaves, so I'm almost close to yours because of this sinus infection. So, as always, everybody, let us know where you are joining us from. Yeah, way to tough it out, says Tim. I will be honest, not just this, but yesterday I had 4 hours in a row. And I think that's kind of what pushed me to the brink. Not only was I go yesterday because we're in the middle of a huge promotion with our guest today. We're running it, we're running the affiliate side of it. But I had an affiliate training yesterday. We had a call with Robbie and I, it's called a VI call, the Visionary Integrator Call, which we follow a book called Rocket Fuel for our kind of organization. And then I had our mastermind, our Start Mastermind. And what else? I then had a phone call. I had a client call. I had a client coaching call for Your Affiliate Launch Coach. And I had another call yesterday. So it was like 4.5 out of 5 hours. I had this 30-minute break. But right after our meeting, Robbie, I had that 30-minute break. It was glorious. I worked the whole time, but I rested my voice, and I finished the last call, and I had like the worst coughing fit. And I was just dead. And then I remember sitting there, I really try super hard. It's a priority for me. When I get off work, I take a couple of minutes just to decompress. I work from home, and this can be a challenge as a lot of people are experiencing for the first time. You've got to have that space because you don't have that commute. This isn't the work from home lesson, but you got to have that space. And I normally take that. Well, I didn't have that last night because I went straight from a coaching call. And my wife was going out to dinner. And so it was like, boom, done, up the stairs. I had 42 seconds. I was like, okay. So I just went to the bathroom. I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to take an extra 10 seconds to do this and just breathe. I took 3 deep breaths, went in, and I'm sitting there at about 7:15 with the kids at dinner. And I'm going, oh, I'm like, I'm
See, at least you were sick and had that excuse. I was just sleepy.
You did the same thing. That's funny. Yes, I was dying, and I was telling Robbie earlier, last night, the pressure and the burning that I felt right here, especially right in this area, and then right my actual eyes and in my nose, and right here was unlike anything I've ever felt before in my life.
That sounds like a different type of challenge than what we're talking about here today.
Yeah,
gotta bring the dad jokes in.
Well played. Yeah. So bear with me. Like I said, I'm gonna be blowing my nose and coughing some. Yeah. So we were talking about challenges, right? Everyone's talking about challenges. I don't think that if you're on anybody's email list in almost any niche, you're probably seeing challenges everywhere. It really does. It seems like, and I know we're hypersensitive. One of the things I always tell people with things like challenges or summits or quizzes or whatever the hot new thing is, no, not everybody's doing them. And no, they're not getting old. You know, we give it the old Target test, right? Walk into a Target, not Walmart, because then it's just kind of weird, but walk into a Target, find 100 people and ask, have you ever been through an online challenge? 99 out of 100 people will be like, nope. They're not, the market is not that saturated, but it seems like they are kind of everywhere to people in our space, right? We're hypersensitive because we're marketers. And so they're popular for two reasons, all right? Number one, they work. And we'll talk about that today. You get more leads, like better opt-ins, better subscribers. You get more connection with the people, more buyers, more authority. Like they're a great way to, like, you come on the other side of a challenge as like the guy or the gal who hosted that challenge. And it's like, dang, you know, it is like serious. Like Sophia, she is the expert. She is the bomb in this niche. And so that's number one reason. Number two, our guest later, Pedro Adao, he has not only crushed one challenge, and that's pretty good, right? Not 5 or 10. I feel like I'm doing an infomercial here. Not 20 challenges, not even 30 challenges.
Not 20.
You're going to get this free Ginsu knife right now. No, you're not. You're not getting I'm not giving you knives today. That's weird. He's actually crushed 47 challenges in a row. What's even more like, I love this about Pedro's story is 2 years ago. Well, really, I mean, yeah, just over 2 years ago, Pedro started from zero. Like 2 years ago, nobody in the online marketing world even knew who the heck Pedro Adao was. I had no idea. He wasn't even on my radar until about a year ago. I've been in this game for 16 years, and I either know or know of most of the people in the space. I'd never heard of him. So think about this. Like, you go from industry nobody to industry leader in 18 months. That doesn't happen very often. So when that does happen, I want to study that, right? Like when I look at a map and you watch everybody doing the little do and everybody's on that line, I want to know why this person's over here, right? When you study, like, you know, not to get into this world, when you study infectious diseases, study the guy who, study the outliers, right? Study the 2% of 90-year-olds who survived the disease. What is it about their DNA? You know, that's what I want to know. And how can we put that in a pill and everybody takes it and doesn't get it? Like, that's what I want to know, right? I don't want to study the people who are on the line, who are following the trends. And so he's a leader in the online marketing world now. He's known as the challenge guy, right? I'm the affiliate guy. He's the challenge guy. So just to give you some perspective, he's the guy behind challenges, like these massive online challenges run by folks like Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, Rachel Miller, Sage Levine, Grant Cardone, Daymond John, Stu McLaren, like, you know, just some of the biggest names in the world, right? He's also a client of ours and someone that I want to introduce you today. So he's going to be on later, about 22 minutes from now, to join us and tell us about something really cool going on in his world. Let me just tell you before we jump into our side of challenges here, Pedro is the real deal, okay? He has served literally thousands of entrepreneurs. Yeah, it's easy. Like, oh yeah, ooh, he helped Tony Robbins run a big challenge. I get it, right? Like, whoopity-doo. Like, I could go in and be like, hey, Tony, you should run a challenge, and he'll get 100,000 people to show up. Why? Because he's Tony freaking Robbins, you know? But he's helped people who are just starting out. There's one story he was sharing on a team call the other day. I think I can share this. I'll just share it. And I'll ask permission later. Shoot first, apologize later, right? It was this lady, I think her name is Olivia. Like Coach Livy, I think is what he was calling her. So I'm pretty sure it's Olivia. And he was saying, like, she was homeless living in her car when she started following Pedro. And this is not started following Pedro 6 years ago, because Pedro wasn't even around 6 years ago. This is like a year ago. I think he joined Pedro's challenge last May. She joined his challenge last May. She's done $300,000 from her challenges over the past year. Now, she probably had a few expenses, but guess what? Spoiler alert, she ain't homeless no more. And she's not living in her car. And if she is living in her car, it's like an RV, you know, like that's pretty freaking awesome. Like, I don't know. I don't even feel like I hate when people do this. Like, who here would like to make $300,000 in a year? Duh, you know? So it works for everybody, right? So this has just been absolutely amazing. He's hosting the 5-day Movement Maker Challenge. Again, he'll be on in about 20 minutes. But if you want to go ahead and join his challenge, the challenge is about challenges, which is like, whoa.
So meta.
It's kind of trippy, man. Like you don't even have to be on sinus medicine to be like deep on that one. Just go to mattmcwilliams.com/MMC. That is not for Matt McWilliams. That is not, I didn't even think about this, dude. I did not plan this. Look, that is not what MMC here stands for. Matt McWilliams Consulting. That MMC stands for Movement Maker Challenge. So mattmcwilliams.com/Movement Maker Challenge. Before he comes
I just signed up this morning for the challenge, and like what I'm seeing in the private Facebook group right now is over 15,000 people are already signed up. Like that's how big this is. And for his second year, this is just incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely just ridiculous. So before he comes on, we're going to share a little bit about our challenge, not our struggle, but our actual challenge. We're talking about how it's worked for us while I let my tea cool off here because I just burnt my lips this time. And I'm going to share some of the lessons that we've learned and some of the successes and some of the struggles. So the idea behind our challenge is it's called List Launch Challenge. And this has been super successful for us. We've added about 1,000 buyers. I mean, if it's not 1,000, it's literally like right under it. I know we were at 940 something, and I think we've sold at least another 60 or so. So we got to be over 1,000. And what we saw was we had a problem. We had one problem, right? People needed a starter email list, or they needed to kind of like light their list on fire. They needed something to, maybe they had 50 people on their list and they needed to get to 500 like that. You know, it was really like they just needed to, like, that's the key, right? The challenge solves one problem fast. One problem. We were doing this in our mastermind yesterday. I was like, okay, so what's the one problem that you have? And it was like, okay, the one problem is they don't have confidence to get a raise. And so it was like, 5 days to a raise. Kind of rhymes. I like that, actually. I have, okay, Gwen Marasco, we'll do that one, right? It was like, the 5-day migraine, removal. That's not the best, but like, it's like basically the result is 5 days you get rid of migraines, or 5 days you'll eliminate most migraines, right? So it's like, boom, 7 days to whatever. And so ours was all about email list. The thing is, you absolutely need an email list, 100%, right? You cannot build your platform. You cannot build your business on Facebook or any other network, right? You need to own your connections. So if you've tried growing your email list, odds are that you've had less than amazing results, right? That's what we hear from people. Growing your email list can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. So we created this challenge. And so we took this challenge from the framework that we had just used to help a guy named James Kalita. He joined our No Product, No Problem course. We took him through a list building exercise. He went from 0 to 3,200 subscribers in 12 weeks. And so we were like, okay, how do we help people do that? Yeah. So it's like, how can we help people get maybe 1/10 of those results, but in less than 1/10 of the time? How can we help them get 100 or 200 subscribers in like a matter of a couple of days, right? So we created this 5-day challenge. Now, today it's 7 days. The List Launch Challenge, which again, you can find out about List Launch Challenge at Matt McWilliams, or no, it's at listlaunchchallenge.com, listlaunchchallenge.com if you're interested. We took it from 5 days to 7 days because the lesson we learned is people needed, on stuff like this, they needed a little bit of implementation time. We did 5 lessons in 5 days. We actually took it down to 3 lessons in 7 days with some mini stuff in between to give them a little bit of, implementation time. And so typically we've actually done, and thank you. I see that Minder says, I've taken the List Launch Challenge. It's awesome. Typically we only done the challenge once a year in the spring, but due to the pandemic, what we did last year was we actually opened it up for a while on an evergreen basis. I don't know if we're going to keep it open forever. We'll probably do it live again soon. But I'll just say, if you're ready to take your list building game to the next level, like maybe you're just starting out, you've got 0 people, maybe you've got 50, 100, a couple hundred, up to maybe 1,000 people. List Launch Challenge is the way to do it, right? Like I said, it's a 7-day program. It's all about starting and growing your email list. We've done it the past 2 years. The results have been nothing short of amazing. Like if you just go to listlaunchchallenge.com, you'll see the stories. It's absolutely amazing, right? And so the first year, this is another lesson here. before we bring Pedro Adao on to talk more about challenges, because he's the challenge guy. Like Robbie and I were chatting in the background in Slack. We're going to go through his course. I've never been through it actually.
No, but
based on the results,
just from what I've seen already, just the success people have had, I'm like,
oh my gosh,
we need to do that. We need to overhaul our own challenge.
Yeah. And I think we've learned lessons the hard way. Like it took us 2 years to learn what we probably could have learned from Pedro in 2 weeks. You know, that's the beauty of coaching. That's the beauty of courses. Like I know we have courses where we teach people how to start an affiliate program. And I was talking with a guy the other day, a prospective coaching client. And I said, honestly, you're not paying me for, this is about a 20-hour arrangement, right? And so it's 20 hours. It'll be about $25,000 is what it'll cost him. And I was like, you're not paying me for 20 hours of my time. You're paying me for the fact that it took me about a decade to figure out the stuff that I'll share with you in 20 weeks. And so less than half a year, you can learn what I took 10 years to learn. That's what you're paying me for. But the first year, this is the lesson. They signed up for the challenge. They went into the challenge. There was no upsells whatsoever. The second year, we did some upsells. And honestly, I don't remember all the upsells, but I know
we completely redesigned
everything. Yeah. But it was like, Robbie, and maybe, I don't know if you have the information handy, but I know the first VIP pass was like the completed workbook. So if they missed anything, they didn't have to worry about that. They got the slides, they got some templates. They got instead of like, here's a template you can use and it's on the screen, they actually got the template where they can just copy and paste it.
Right.
They got a few other things that I don't remember.
Yeah. And that was about it. And then, this is where we did more, is we had an additional offer on the back end, which was complete VIP access. They got the slides, they got the video recordings. So that way they had a lifetime access so that they could go through the challenge again and again and again, which is, I think, one of the cool things about this is, a lot of the challenges, you don't just do them once. Like, it's a repeatable process and you can get bigger, more compounded results every time that you do it.
Yeah. I really wish does Be Live have a mute button? I'm not seeing it.
I can mute you.
Can you mute me real quick? So I don't have to turn.
It worked. So, you're good? You sure?
He's gonna leave me muted. So Gwen asked, does the 5-day challenge help you set up challenges? Yes, it is literally it's a challenge about challenges. And I think you got on just a little bit late, Gwen. And I was saying that is just it's like so meta, right? It's like when Jeff Walker launches about launches, it's like, right? So the second year we did those upsells and that allowed us to pay for ads. One of the downsides to paying for anything that's free or very low ticket, ours was a $5, challenge that first year. Once we refined it, we raised the price, and the evergreen version is actually a little bit more expensive because it's like we're bundling the VIP with it in the evergreen version. So if you go there, you'll see it's $47, which, it could easily be 10 times that. The reason for that is you can't really say, we're going to give you lifetime access to the recordings, because that's what you're paying for, so it's a little bit different on the evergreen. But the downside to running ads to a free challenge or even a low ticket challenge when you're starting out is that it's expensive. If you spend even just $500 a day for 10 days, that's $5,000. If you don't make anything, you better have $5,000 lying around. And a lot of people just don't. You're starting out, you don't have $5,000 lying around. Statistics show that more than half of Americans, or something like 80% of Americans, couldn't afford a $500 car repair if it happened tomorrow. And so they don't have $5,000. So if you can make, let's say you spend $500 a day and you make $500, well, at least you broke even. And the cool thing about that is it actually allows you to scale it. So maybe the next day you spend $1,000 and maybe you only make $970. Well, can you afford to spend $30? Yeah. So you spend $1,000 the next day, and maybe the next day you make $1,100. So the next day you up your spend again. Let's see what happens if I spend $1,300 and I make $1,220. Okay, now maybe we're starting to get at the point where spending more isn't going to have quite the ROI. So I spend $1,300 again, but it optimizes, and I make $1,500. Okay, now I spend $1,500, and so you can up the spend, and you're not hemorrhaging cash. just before you actually bring people into the challenge. And so that's before the challenge starts. Once the challenge starts, the reason why I love challenges, and Pedro will probably touch on this more, is like connection, right? Like crazy connection. That is the number one reason why I love challenges. The best example I can give of this, like the community is so powerful. And we're on live and I'm seeing all the people and there's like an energy, right? That when we do our No Product, No Problem launch, which is coming up in October, by the way, so mark your calendars. I don't even know the dates. I'm not like Stu McLaren. I don't know the dates of my own launch yet. I do. I'm just on a lot of medication. And so maybe Robbie can put it in the chat. Robbie can say it and put it in the chat. But like when we do that, when we've done that launch in the past and we haven't done it as a challenge, okay, we get on the first student call. So we'll welcome, say, 300 students on the first student call. I'll know like 30 of the students. That's it. I only know like 30 of them. Most of them are total mysteries to me. When we have our new students that come through our challenge, when we do the live challenge, it's the opposite. I know like, we'll have like 100 people on. I'll know 75 of them. There's only like 25 people. I'm like, who the heck are you? Why is that? Because of that connection, because of that community, because of the, like all the people are working together on a similar path. So not only is there community between me and them, there's community with each other. They're working on that similar path toward a similar goal. They're not just consuming content. And so in like a typical launch thing, there's not really a result. You're not working towards something together. And that's the other thing I love about challenges is there's actually like challenges get results fast. Okay.
And we saw that in our Facebook group constantly. It was like, hey, I added this many new subscribers. My list is this big now. And everybody's sharing those wins. And it just creates this wave, right?
Back up even before got subscribers. There were people who came to our challenge, Robbie, you know this, right? They'd spent a year trying to think of what their lead magnet should be. And in the challenge, day one, we teach them how to create a lead magnet. And in less than 12 hours later, they had a lead magnet. A year of I forget who it was. There was one specific lady that said, I have been struggling with this for more than a year. Like a year of your life, you only get, like, according to science, you only get like 78 of these. And you just, a year, 1/78 of your entire existence on this earth, you spent trying to figure out what your lead magnet was. And then in a half of a day, we taught you how. That's what I love about challenges, dude. I mean, and you're right, because now they're posting that in there. And one of the ladies responded and said, something like, I haven't waited a year, but I've been putting it off too long. I'm going to go work on mine. And then like the next morning, she's like, here's mine. Like, how cool is that? I mean, I just think that's awesome.
It was so cool. And then like people are sharing those wins. So it's like this community builds, they're helping each other. They're critiquing each other's work and making it better, like on the spot in this short time frame. It's just awesome how it all gels.
Yeah. Let's see. Kinetics on YouTube asked, I wonder what are the most unusual challenges you have seen? I'll answer that in just a little bit if we have time before Pedro jumps on. I don't really know if I've seen any weird, but they get that quick win, right? So those results fast. And the thing is, like, that quick win, there's two things that happen. Number one, when they have that quick win, they have that flash of success. They want to keep coming back for more, right? It also helps them just connect with each other. Like you talked about on a deeper level. They're celebrating each other. There is also an element of peer pressure. You see last List Launch challenge we did. Again, it's a paid challenge. It's not free, which we will be doing some free challenges based on what Pedro is teaching. But it's paid, so it's not the numbers that Pedro has. But like if you have, we had 350 people in, and you see 50 people creating a lead magnet, how do you not go create a lead magnet?
Yeah.
I mean, like it's a healthy peer pressure. You see 50 people posting in there, 100 people posting that they picked up 10, 20 subscribers, and you're going, man, I haven't done what Matt taught. Like in a Challenge, you can watch the first lesson and take no action. And there's not a whole lot of peer pressure. Like, and I'm not picking on Jeff Walker. He's been very successful, and I love PLF, but you can't plan out a launch in 24 hours. And so if you haven't planned out your launch in 24 hours and there's only a few people posting that they plan theirs, it's like, oh, whatever, they're just outliers. I don't know. But when it's easy to implement and you see 100 people in there, 500 people in there going, I did what Matt taught. I did what Gwen taught. I did what, Tim taught. It's like, oh, there's pressure. And again, that's healthy pressure. And then lastly, they're fun. I just think they're fun. I enjoy, like, that is probably the most fun thing I do is List Launch Challenge. When we do it live, and we'll do it live at some point in the future, probably, I don't know, probably next spring. Mm-hmm. When we do it live, there's like, we do the little celebration, threads where it's like, post your celebration, and people are like, yay. We have a little checklist that they check off each day. And when they do, it like has like confetti coming down on the next page, and like things that we don't normally do. They're just fun. Like, they're fun to be a part of. There's a level of energy, that is just so intense. And then ultimately they convert. When we talk about taking somebody, whether it be from free or low ticket, a $5, $25, $47 thing to a higher level product, nothing works better that I've seen than challenges. All right, so let's answer Kanadic's question before Pedro jumps on. I wonder what are the most unusual challenges you have seen. Man, I don't think I've seen any that I would consider unusual.
I think that's one of the things that Pedro will say, just from what I've seen. I was on a training call, and even then he was just like, oh, you can do this and this and this. And the more niche it is, and as Minders says here, they build confidence. They're great for beginners. They solve that quick win, that one thing really fast. And when they do that, it is like, it's just killer, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what it is or how weird it is. If it solves those people's problem, then it works.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a breakthrough. It's when you've been stuck at 20 subscribers for a year, and we can teach you in 5 to 7 days how to get to even just 200, right? It's that momentum. It's kind of like it's kind of like somebody who's been stuck at a weight for 5 years. They've been stuck there. If you can help them lose 5 to 10 pounds, then they can lose the next, 60 or 70 or 100 or whatever they need to lose. There's a certain sense of that momentum, that confidence fast that Minders said. They're great for beginners. They build confidence fast. But I've been drawn to challenges, Sophia says, but mostly have heard that they're too difficult for beginners. I would say the complete opposite. It's so funny, they're great for beginners, Minders says. I would say the complete opposite. I think it just depends on where you position it. Ours, for instance, we talk about creating a lead magnet. And I even share in there in one of the lessons, I say, here are like the 10 types of lead magnets you are not creating. Why are we not creating them? Not because they convert poorly necessarily, although that is one of them. One of them is because it converts poorly. It's because you can't create these lead magnets between now and tomorrow afternoon. And I want this to be something that you can create quickly. Is it going to be the world's greatest lead magnet ever? No. Is it going to be 80% of what the world's greatest lead magnet is? Yes. And James Kalita says that. He even says, like, my first lead magnet, I got like 1,500 subscribers. It was crap. It was like 500. I think it was only 500. His next one got 1,500. He's like, my first one was total crap. Got 500 subscribers. 500 subscribers from a crap lead magnet. And so we're looking for those things. And it's like, okay, when you go from 0 to 200, for example, or whatever it is, right? Let's say you lose 5 pounds. Do you know how you lose 5 more pounds? You do exactly what you did to lose the first 5 pounds. It might take you one whole extra day because your metabolism slowed down, whatever. You know how you go from 200 to 400? You do the exact same thing that you did to go from 0 to 200. You just repeat it with a different 200 people. That's how you do it. So you teach them the principles, and then they can rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I love that. It's so cool. And like we said, it just builds on itself. And every challenge that I've either been a part of or every challenge that I've seen, that's what they're doing, is building and building and building and having that flash in the pan success that people can repeat.
Yeah, so I'd love to have Robbie, if you can remember, I'd love to have Pedro address the question Sophia asked and the one that Canotix asked. Okay. Where are the value ladder? Where on the value ladder would your challenge land? I think is what you meant, Tim. Can you confirm that? I think you meant to say on instead of R. A challenge would be an entry point. It can be an entry point or it can be the second thing. And what I mean by that is, especially with what we teach people to make a very simple lead magnet. Okay. A PDF, right? A one-page PDF, a cheat sheet, a template, a swipe file, not something that's creating a 5 or 7 day challenge. I'll be honest. The list launch challenge took me about 100 hours to create the first time. To redo it, to turn it from 7 to 5 took me about 25 hours. It wasn't nearly as intense. But yeah, it would be either very beginning, Tim, what's up, Pedro? Or it would be maybe as that second offer after the lead magnet. So as I mentioned, we are joined by the man himself, Pedro Adao, the challenge guy. So Pedro, we've been talking about challenges. We've actually already got some cool questions that I'll probably pop you at the end. But man, I would love just for people to kind of, I feel like you're one of those dudes that until I heard you like kind of cast the vision for challenges, I didn't get you, but once I heard you cast them, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. So, we've been talking about why we like challenges. I've already told them who you are and kind of where you came from. So we can skip all to like that. But what are like some of the biggest things you see, like the biggest benefits of challenges that you see?
Yeah. So basically, Matt, what you're saying is you didn't like me at first, is what you just said.
I did. I liked you. It's kind of like you were like here. And then I remember I heard you talk about, a couple of the stories, and you told the one of what's her name? The Olivia, the one who lived in the, I told that story, like living in a car, right? She was homeless. And it's like, as soon as I heard that, it was like, oh man, like this is bigger. So yeah.
I'm just messing with you, man.
I know.
Obviously I can be pretty loud at times and I can, people don't always kind of they see a lot of the energy and a lot of the, and they don't get me right away. But this challenge framework, anyway, what was the question, Matt? I'm sorry. I was good for
that. Like what are some of the biggest benefits of challenge?
Yeah.
Then I want to talk about the actual framework that you were going to talk about there.
Yeah, I think so. At the core. So let's talk about like at the core, what a challenge really is.
Yep.
It's 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, however long you choose to. And we have obviously a lot to talk. We train on kind of how long it should be. But the essence of a challenge is very simple. It's 5 or 7 days of intentionally showing up live to serve people at scale. That's it. At the core of it, that's why it works. Because at the end of the day, people are always going to, like, we're not going to change. As human beings, like, we're not going to change. Like, there's some things that will never change. One of them is the classic saying is, and no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? There's no better way to check both those boxes than doing a live challenge. If you show up live for 5, 7 days in a row and you're sharing some of your absolute best content for free, people are going to know how much you care, because you'd have to care a lot to do that much work and then show up and serve. And then 2, after 5 or 7 days of consuming your content and being trained by you for 5 or 7 days, they're going to clearly see the value of what you do.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's just so, and then let's talk about know, like, and trust. Like another thing we've heard forever, people like to buy from people they know, like, and trust. Oh, no better way online, and no better way, to get people to know, like, and trust you predictably, no better way to convert cold traffic. Take strangers. I I have been able to spend almost $2 million running Facebook ads to complete strangers, Matt, who didn't know me from Adam. And within 5 days, raving fan, customer, clients, friends, and clients for life. No other framework does that. Webinars don't do that. Emails can't do that. VSLs can't do. There's no other marketing framework on the planet today that can do that. And so this is just the most powerful marketing framework on the planet because it's just built on fundamentals of what it means to be human that will never change.
That's powerful. I love what you said there. It's built on the fundamentals of just being human. We're not like trying to change human psychology to get them to do this thing. We're using it. I don't even know the answer to this actually, which is kind of scary. How did you become the challenge guy? Like, what's the story there? Because I don't think you woke up 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago going, you know what I want to do? I want to be the challenge guy. I don't think that's the case, is it?
That's not what happened.
Yeah.
Which is going to be shattering to some people because there's a lot of people that talk about manifesting and vision boards and dream boards and setting your goals and incantations. And I'm not saying that doesn't work. What I'm telling you, Matt, is the biggest and best things in my life did not happen that way.
Interesting.
I never set out to be the challenge guy. You'll never see that on any dream board, in any journal. But here's what happened. I with my last business, with the movement that we started called 100X, it's a movement for faith-based entrepreneurs, people who are very passionate about both their spirituality and God and enterprise, and that didn't really feel super valued and equipped and empowered in a normal church context. So I started that movement on accident. On accident. I was not trying to launch a business. It's a whole other story. And how I launched that, I did a 30-day free masterclass. This goes back to May of 2018. So what's crazy about this story, Matt, is, and I'm a humble guy. Like, I don't like going around just, sharing my stats and talking about how awesome I am. But if I don't do that right now, your audience will not be served that well.
Yeah, this is a safe place. You can.
I need you guys to know that 3 years ago, March of 2018, I was a financial planner living in obscurity. I had a successful brick and mortar business, but I was not an influencer. I didn't have connections with industry leading experts. No one knew who I was outside of my little hometown. I had no email list. I had no following. I had nobody willing to promote me. I was at ground zero, literally like starting from scratch.
It's crazy.
So for those of you at home or watching this, you're like, oh, Pedro, I don't have a list. I don't have this. I had none of that either. So I do this free challenge I do this free masterclass to teach about a problem I had solved for myself, which I used to struggle with. I used to struggle with my identity. I used to struggle with how am I supposed to show up in life as a faith-based person who also has big goals and big dreams. Like, I didn't know how to do it. So I made a bunch of mistakes. I finally figured it out. So I had my own hero's journey, if you will. I had my own journey of transformation. I had my own from to, my own before and after story. So I just shared and taught things I'd learned for free for 30 days, never planning on launching an offer, which was a very important key part of the story. Because I didn't know, Matt, I was going to be making an offer, I wasn't overthinking anything. I wasn't trying to hold anything back, because why would I hold information back? I did not have an offer to protect. I just said a lot right there. I didn't care about hurting my offer and maybe teaching too much, training too much, because I didn't have an offer I was even planning on making. So all I did was serve and give for 30 days, as much as I possibly could. By about 10 days in, Matt, people in this challenge, there's only about 100 people in that first challenge, they're DMing me saying, Pedro, whatever you're selling at the end of this challenge, please, what is it? Let me buy it now. I'm in. Like, and I'm like, dude, there's nothing for sale. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's nothing for sale. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, dude, I don't do this. I'm a financial guy. Like, this is over. And in 3 weeks, we're done. They're like, no, you can't end this. Like, you're my mentor now. Like, you're my coach. You're my leader. Like, we're a family. Like, you can't just leave us. And I was like, what is going on right now? So I went to my wife. We talked. And so I launched a movement on accident 3 years ago using this free masterclass, which is now our challenge framework. And unlike most entrepreneurs, if something works so well, Matt, what do?
They keep it for themselves.
They keep it for themselves or never do it again.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that works so well. I stopped doing it.
They reinvent the wheel. Yeah.
No. So I just kept doing it over and over and over. So Matt, since May of 2018, I have done 47 profitable challenges in a row. And
that's 47 that you've been directly involved in, right? This isn't like that 47 is not that's not you taught somebody. This is
no.
Hands on in.
No, not hands on. My challenge is to build my direct company. Then I've consulted with dozens more and I've helped thousands of students. No. I have personally to build my brands, I have personally done 47 profitable challenges in a row since May of 2018.
I just want to highlight that because there's a lot of people out there who will they do one thing one time or two times, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm the expert at that. 47 times, it's pretty refined at this point. Like it's dialed in to like you're still learning stuff, right? And little tweaks. And that's the beauty of this. Like this guy's the master, guys. 47 times. That most people.
No,
Jeff Walker hasn't launched 47 times, and he's the launch guy.
Nobody. I was literally boxing with Russell Brunson this morning, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, "Dude, are you crazy? Like, have you?" It's a staggering number. Here's what happened: businesses, one amazing business will often give birth to another amazing business. So while I was building my 100x movement using challenges, I became the challenge expert. So then that business gave birth to the other, which it's now our Crush It with Challenges. Now I'm teaching the world, the internet marketing world, how to do challenges because I became an expert building my other business. So the name of the game right now, guys, is don't think of challenges as, oh, here's another marketing thing. Here's another shiny object to go chase. No. This is not like writing a book or launching a podcast or shaking your ass on TikTok. This is not one of these little distractionary things that this is literally learning how to be an elite level marketer. Yeah. This framework is only going to get bigger over time, not less. This framework is taking over the online game. So this is not a shiny object. This is I'm just going to be very direct. Our challenge framework, I believe, is your easiest and most sure path to success online over anything else that you could possibly put time into. And if you don't believe me, like, Pedro, that's very audacious. No problem. Join me next week in the challenge. Let me prove it to you. Because I have seen people who have been struggle for 3 years, struggling to get their webinar to work, struggling to get their VSLs, struggling with lead magnets, struggling with tripwires, struggling doing all the things all the gurus have told to do. They came into my world, saw challenges, boom, had success, got their first dollars online, made their first clients, and all of a sudden now they're rolling. So I know I'm talking pretty direct and bold.
No,
but this is just
appreciate that. Yeah. I think just from what I've seen in our own and in yours and in studying a few others now, I think it's the wave of the future for our company. I think it's the wave of the future for a lot of different industries. And I also think, to tie this into like affiliate stuff, from an affiliate perspective, they're really easy to promote because of that level of intimacy and connection that we talked about before you came on, Pedro, that challenges provide. Your affiliates don't have to go all out, and it's not like a 2.5 week, promotion. If they just get them to the challenge framework, if you follow what Pedro teaches, of course, if you follow what Pedro teaches, the challenge framework will absolutely will convert them into sales, and your affiliates are going to make a ton of money without having to do any selling whatsoever. Which is a model that I love as somebody who runs affiliate programs. I'm like, if I can tell my affiliates they don't have to sell anything, it's like, sweet, my job is easy. So I love that. I have a couple questions from the audience. Sophia asked, said, I've been drawn to challenges. Let's see, I'm so happy to hear this. I've been drawn to challenges, but I mostly heard that they're too difficult for beginners. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that's true, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. First of all, I love Sophia's name. My daughter's name is Sophia. It's spelled the exact same way. That's the first comment I saw too, because that's my daughter's name. Yeah. Sophia, I don't know where you heard that, but they didn't tell you the truth. It's absolutely not true. I have personally trained thousands of early stage entrepreneurs, beginners, who have never had success with anything prior. I've even helped people who were brand new to online marketing have success with challenges. I would actually make the opposite claim. This is the easiest framework. Trying anything else other than this as a beginner, I think, is a complete waste of your time. Sure, you may learn some stuff. It's probably not going to work. And that's why the numbers, the abysmal failure rates of people online, which is probably 99% or higher, is because everyone is trying to start at the most difficult things to do. Having a webinar convert is damn near the most difficult thing.
Hard.
Guys, I have an 8-figure business and I have never run a webinar. I have scaled my company in 2 years to over 8 figures a year, over $10 million a year in revenue. In just our second year, I've never done a webinar. Never. I've done this all in the back of challenges. I think I'm a pretty good copywriter. I think I'm a pretty good marketer. I still don't think I could get a webinar to convert that well. Me, with all the skills all the chops I have, with the branding I have, I still am not that confident because I've never done one. I just keep doing challenges. So I think, Sophia, you were told the exact opposite. This is the #1 strategy for beginners, and I'm going to be proving that again at a much bigger scale next week in our Movement Maker Challenge.
Yeah. So you mentioned this a couple of times, and I mentioned it earlier, guys. I want you to get signed up for the Movement Maker Challenge. Like we said earlier, it's a challenge about challenges. So super meta. If you go to mattmcwilliams.com/MMC, I wish I could have planned this, but I've actually even got it on my thing. It stands for something different though. Matt McWilliams Consulting. But if you go to mattmcwilliams.com/ I wish I was smart enough to have thought of that.
Buddy, just go with it. It's MMC.
Yeah. mattmcwilliams.com/MMC for Movement Maker Challenge. Guys, Pedro said earlier, just get signed up. I'll just say this. You have my permission. If you get 2 days into this challenge and you're like, you know what? I think this guy's full of crap, and you're not going to do that. This is how much I'm willing to promise. If you think he's full of crap, I'm dead serious here. Okay. This is going to be like insane. Reach out to me. I will let you pick one of my courses that you can have for free. Okay. Because none of those are full of crap. That's my guarantee. If you get 2 days into I'm going to make you prove that you attended both days. You get 2 days in, you say, this guy is full of crap. I'm going to let you pick one of my courses for free. I just made that up for the record. I had no intention to do that.
I love
it. So that's my promise, because I know you're not going to think that. Like, he's going to sell you on the vision of challenges, and you're going to be like, yeah, I need to do one of these. Just like Sophia said, it's, I didn't have a clue what I was doing in my first one. I made it up. Pedro got big right when we did our first challenge. So I was actually right after that. It was about 2 months after we did our first challenge. We didn't have any of the right tech. We didn't know what we were doing. It was not that complicated, on our end. And yet we got massive results for the people going through it.
Hey, just in the chat there, I'd love to hear, because Matt just put his neck on the line for me, which I appreciate.
Yeah, so Robbie's like, oh, crap.
I would like to know what proof. So what proof elements would you like to see me talk about and share in those first 2 days so you would know I'm not full of crap? Because I just pulled up my Stripe account, Matt, which that's, hey guys, numbers don't tell you everything, but they do tell you a lot.
They're a scorecard. That's all they are.
Scorecard. So looking at our numbers just year to date, and I think we're still in the first quarter.
Yep.
Just in Stripe, I'm looking at over $2 million in revenue. Just
before
in Stripe,
your big challenge too.
I haven't, and that's on one challenge. That's pretty much, I've done one challenge this year.
It's a slow year for you.
Yeah. So guys, like, again, you're like, oh, Pedro, now you're just bragging. Listen, I am, you know what I'm doing? Because I know what it's like to be where you're at. I know what it's like to be cynical and jaded. I know what it's like to hear a bunch of hypey marketers who just talk crap, and it's just BS. And they're trying to, you know what I really don't like about our industry, Matt? I see people now running challenges to sell coaching and training for some other strategy.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. If your strategy was so effective, why are you running a challenge to sell it?
Yeah, that's the 5-day webinar creation challenge.
Interesting. So I'm the only guy I know who only does what he teaches. Yeah. I only have done challenges.
And I think
exclusively.
I have to reiterate this. It's been 3 years. That's 36 months. You're doing
47 in a row.
1.33 challenges per month.
There's months I did too. Most of the months I was doing too.
I've been in the affiliate game for 16 years. I know I'm north of 75 affiliate launches. I think I'm probably in the neighborhood of 85. I've actually got a total, I can find it. But I mean, you just look at that, like that's 16 years and I've done 80, and I think I'm the best in the world at, doing this and teaching this stuff. You've done 47 in 3 years. Like, guys, there's nobody better to learn from, because he's constantly like, if he gets 2% better at every one of these, and he's sharing all of that. Like, I mean, guys, I'm just telling you, it's an amazing opportunity. So you see the URL on your screen, just go to it, get in there, guys. And you have my guarantee. So real quick,
bring people with you and bring people with you. And Matt's like, guys, Matt is the best at what he does. Right. And in the affiliate game, this is the guy that unless they have an internal person, which, some people think that makes more sense, but sort of that, Matt is the guy behind the biggest launches on the internet. So if you want to learn the affiliate game, why are you here? Because Matt is the clear-cut expert. Like, I wouldn't even know who to recommend after Matt, because like when people like myself, Stu McLaren, and other of the most elite level entrepreneurs running the biggest launches online are hiring this guy. So you're here learning from Matt on the thing he knows the best. I think you should do that everywhere in your life.
Yep.
Like, you're not coming to me to learn about webinars or VSLs or lead magnets or podcasts. I don't give a crap about that stuff. I'm the challenge expert. I'm going to teach you how to crush challenges. There's nobody even close. And so come get those skills from me. That's the thing I've gone all in on. And what you'll find is that what you learn to crush a challenge will actually up-level all of the marketing that you do, because I'm going to teach you guys 3 things next week. Challenges is the third one. Challenges is the mega. The first thing there's 3 things. How much time we got, Matt?
For you, I want to be respectful of your time, and I happen to know Pedro's calendar, guys, so I'm going to let him go in about 4 minutes.
Perfect.
Give him 90 seconds of rest before his next call.
Here's the 3 things you're going to learn next week. The 3 things I've done 3 times to create 3 7-figure plus businesses. I'm going to first teach you how to truly identify your core market. Everyone talks about niching down. Everyone talks about how to, and yet nobody actually really has trained it well enough. So I'm going to teach you how to identify your hottest, corest market to give yourself the best chance at success. 2, I'm going to teach you how to create movement-based messaging. messaging words that communicate and resonate and call forth that audience. And then I'm going to teach you how to crush challenges. Those are the 3 essential elements. You can't, if you remove one, guys, the challenge framework is not, the challenge model in and of itself is a megaphone. It's a multiplier of who you are and what you're saying. But even 1,000,000 times 0 is still 0. So I'm going to help you guys get clear on a couple of fundamental things. So once you embrace the challenge, boom, you'll be able to have the results you want.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome. Like I said, I want to be respectful of your time.
Yep.
It's a busy week, and we actually kind of both got to go. But I'm going to let you go, and then Robbie and I will wrap it up here. Pedro, man, thank you so much, buddy.
Dude, happy to be here.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Bye.
So, guys, Robbie and I are going to stick on for just a couple of minutes and wrap up here. Dude, that was awesome, wasn't it?
That was great. Just listening.
The energy, right? The energy. It's
right.
You know, it's why I was joking with the beginning, and he was like, "What you're saying is you didn't like me at first." It's like admittedly, when I had only interacted with him when, you know, like via text and email, and then when we were talking like contract, you know,
right.
So it's kind of like, you know, certain level, and then you get him onto this, and it's like, you know, that I told you know, his right hand man Scott, like Scott invited me to their team calls, and you know, again, I'll admit openly, like I was kind of like, why? You know, like we're pretty busy, you know, like we were running a launch. Do I need to be on the team call? And I joined the first one, and he told, like, he just got going. He got in Pedro mode where he's like telling story after story after story. And I'm going, I was like, dude, I get why you invited me, you know, like just catching that vision. So,
that seems the fire.
Yeah. So 3 lessons I got from that, guys, you know, above and beyond challenges, really. Actually, I'll just share that. So the first lesson is, I want you to commit to doing a challenge. And in fact, before that, I just want you to commit to signing up for the Movement Maker Challenge. It's coming up, mattmcwilliams.com/MMC. What is that noise? It sounds like you're getting, I thought you were getting dental work done. You know, when they stick the thing in, it's like, it makes your mouth feel all weird. I'm like, Rob, are you getting dental? I don't know. What am I looking around when I do that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, I have an obstacle right in the middle of my, wow. This is what we do at the end of these. Yeah. So commit to doing a challenge, sign up. I mean it, guys. I know I've never made an offer like this. It's absolutely probably stupid. Robbie's like, oh man, somebody's going to take you up on that. But I mean it. Like I'm believing this so much, guys. If you get 2 days into the challenge, the Movement Maker Challenge, you're like, I don't believe in challenges. It's never going to work in my niche. Pedro's full of crap. You just email us at support@mattmcwilliams.com, and we'll let you pick one of our programs. Not our coaching program, just because you can't pick a year-long coaching program. Okay. That's like, you know, $25,000, but you can pick any of our courses. Okay. Any of our $1,000 courses, or, you know, or less. If you want to pick one of the lower price courses, you can pick that. It'd be your choice. You're not going to do that. So I'm not even going to talk about that anymore. Secondly, he mentioned something, you know, learn from the best. Learn from the best. Find the best in an individual area. I hate it when people are like, he's the best marketer. Marketing's like 87 different things. What is he the best at? You know what Stu McLaren is the best at? 2 things, actually. Number 1, membership sites. And number 2, stories. He is not the best in the world at affiliates. Pretty good, but not the best. He's not the best in the world at webinars. He is not the best in the world at copywriting. Okay. He's not the best in the world at name 400 other things, right? But he's the best in the world at those 2 things. I'm like with Pedro. Our webinars don't convert amazingly well. Why? Because I'm not that great at them. But you know what I'm good at? Affiliates. You know what else I'm good at? Affiliates. And also affiliates. You know, that's why I don't come on here and pretend like I'm some sort of challenge expert. I shared a few things that we've learned and then had the expert in the world on to teach you. That's why I had him on. You know, learn from the best. And that's any area of life. There's a reason why I feel like I learned from one of the best in the world in the weight loss area. One of the best weight loss coaches there is on the entire face of the earth. And there's 100,000 of them. His name's Alan Thomas. I learn from him. If I want to learn about team building and leadership and business leadership, I learn from the best in the world, Michael Hyatt. He's my mentor. I'm in his mastermind. There's a reason for that because I think he's the best in the world at it. If I needed help doing webinars and I just don't want to do that right now, it's not really in my wheelhouse, not on my radar, then I wouldn't go to Michael Hyatt and say, Michael, teach me how to do webinars. Robbie Miles, he's the productivity guru, right? When I have a productivity question, I call Robbie. I don't call some of my friends who might be substantially more productive than me and ask them because they're not the best at teaching this stuff, at communicating it. They haven't been through it. So find the best. It doesn't actually say, I guess that doesn't have to be the best in the world, but find somebody who's the best at that thing. And I heard somebody say, I don't remember who it was, but said, you don't need a mentor, you need mentors. Robbie could probably, I'm sure if I wanted him to, could probably help me be a better husband. But when I need marriage advice, I don't go to Robbie. I don't go to my friend Hunter. When I need negotiation advice, I go to my friend Hunter because he's the best negotiator I've ever known by leaps and bounds. And so I have these different mentors in these different areas of my life. Robbie's my productivity guy. Pedro's my challenge guy. Stu's my membership guy and my stories guy. Actually, Stu and Donald Miller kind of combined. Those are the people. Like when I need help in those areas, those who I go to. Like I said, commit to a challenge, and then remember my offer, guys. Seriously, go through, sign up the URL you see there, mattmcwilliams.com/MMC for Movement Maker Challenge. Attend 2 days. Play all out. If Pedro asks you to do something, do it. You may doubt it. You may not have the time to do it, but do it. I want you to show me your work. I want you to, share what you learned. I want you to pay attention, participate all out for just 2 days of your life. It's not even 2 full days. It'll take you about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. Okay. If you do that, think he's full of crap. Don't think that challenges are for your niche. Just don't believe in it. You still haven't caught on to the vision that, 150,000 other people have caught on to. That's cool. Then you can take one of my courses. I'll give you one of my courses and you can go learn the thing that you think is going to work. So if you want to go through List Launch Challenge, ironically, you want to build your list. Okay, you'll get it. You don't think challenges are the way, you'll get my challenge. You want to learn how to start affiliate marketing? I'll give you our course. You want to learn how to find affiliates? I'll give you our course. Right. So and here's the thing. I know we're not giving away any courses because you're going to get 1 day into Pedro's challenge. You'll be like, dang, I'm all over this. So with that, we'll wrap up. I'm going to go rest my voice. Thank you guys for bearing with me today. Excuse me one last time.
Just for posterity.
I tried to hold it. I was like, oh no, it's going to start. That's going to be gross. Thank you guys for bearing with me today with my voice and my nose blowing and coughing. You guys are awesome, and we will see